nhớ trong trận nhiệt gì cái tên anh Josh đó nó có nhà máy cứu phải ya tuần đầu mong TV USAตัวนู้นbây giờตัวของอีลูของจงnhất hồ Fresno đó nàyอีลูของจงchính chính hành đó nó có nhà CEO President Paul Yang of Fresno Center กูยันน้องเนี่ยมันจีเช่นนู้นของจงนู้นน่ะดัชชีnhớ trong Paulก็แค่เราไปเช่นนู้นน่ะไปตัวชาลานน่ะของดัชชีเท่า
nhớ trong chuyện này suốt thời chấp lời tôi cho trong mong USA TV và là cho mong lưu xia chữ sinh tua công pe đào tạo Fresno Center đó nó thế tôi cho đó có phải cho mong lưu opportunity đó của là pe là lưu mà nói vậy mà chữ sinh hàng đó là pe lưu community chỉ hay mong mấy lựa hai nền tí gì Fresno Unified School District trong nó là do thì tu Superintendent chia tu Superintendent Tashna và do Dr. Bob Nelson nơi do tờ nơi xã hội lử cho thầu lú cho liên tu vấn thi pe cho ý trong nó nữa cái Tashna là pin thiaแต่ชีวันเดย์เล่นเทียเราเลือกที่ opposition นั่นแต่แล้วกูนเดียต่อ Fresno Unified กูนเดียต่ออีก third party เราอยากอีลูกกงเขาชั้นเจ้าจะเราโมน้องไปสั่งหัวหือเฉลี่ยตัวเขารู้ใจรู้จอแล้วหัวเตีย listening session เจแล้วกูทอไป Fresno Center ก็เช่าเราหมกที่เจ้าไว้ก็ไปจะคือจะตีจะเนี่ยจะซีจะให้มองบล็อกคอมเมนต์ดูไม่เฉลี่ยตัวเนาะแล้วสัตว์ตัวน้อไปจะไปสั่งเคลียร์ใช้ตัว Superintendent ตัวอย่าตัวไปเหนียเราอย่าไปเหนียอีตัวไทยจ่อเราตัวรู้ Fresno Unified School ไปเหนียตัวจงลิจ่าเจ้าคนนั้นจังหังอย่าตัวนั้นไปรู้ community ชุดสังอย่าไปมอง community ไปตัวปอเราเตาดาวชงเลยเดี๋ยวอย่าตัว Fresno Unified School District เนื้อมัวไปตุนสายมองหัว Misty เฮอว่าอย่าตัว Deputy Director Superintendent ตัดชินะหนึ่งว่าจะได้หนุ่มเราเต้าแต่หนึ่งเราหมกเขียนเต้าหนึ่งเราหมกว่าท่านคู่ต่อเขา Fresno Unified เราเต้าชั้นหนึ่งก็จิลุชงเลยแต่ชนะเราตัวเทรนหนึ่งเราหมกว่าตัว Superintendent แต่ชีโจลีมัวหรือป้าหรือเปิดแล้วก็เล่นเทียแล้วจะตัวชีแข่งทันหนึ่งเทียแต่ชีเนี่ยตอนนั้นไปลูก community จะไปยิงป่าเต้าที่เป็นจังเต้าให้แต่หนึ่งจุยอดตัวเราหมกว่า Superintendent ตัว Fresno Unified ไปจะเนี่ยจะซีจะคือจะตีจะหนึ่งจะชาเฉลี่ยตัวมันเนาะอย่าตัว express ไปขอเกรงเชียให้เดียที่เคลียร์เราเลยจะเนาะจะชื่อเนี่ยตัว Fresno Unified ก็เลยเป้าให้เดียไปยิงป่ารงมิสซี่เฮอจุเราหมกว่าตัว Superintendent เต้าเชียตันได้เนาะรงเชียที่บ้านเชียแต่เนี่ยจะเนี่ยจะจริงเนี่ยแต่ว่าแต่เจอยู่ตัวกงไปที่จีจะตัวจิตเราเนี่ยย้อนเนาะไปจะหลุดไปอยู่หายมันเนาะตัว Fresno Unified ก็เลยเขาเป้าที่โอเจ้า
อย่าเผาอย่าไปจะมองอย่าเขารู้จอเราว่าไปว่าไปเจช่วยอยากช่วยจ้าเจไปยังไงจะก็ contribute จะไปลูก community เจMisty เฮอตาลิก็หายมายิ่ง play a role very crucial จะไปลูก community จะ education เจไปยังปอนึลุ่นเขาหรือที่นึเขา qualification นะวันดูจุเราจะนี่ลูกเนี่ยเนาะไปเราเป็นสักไปตัวหนึ่งมุ่งจอดตัวสดรถตรงเราตัวรุ่นเราเขาหรือน้อยก็เนาะป้าตัวเชียไปจำยำห้องซื้อเราป้าตัวเชลิงชลิงสตูเราหายหนึ่งที่ชีเราคอยไปยิงปอตัวแต่ในมุ่งลูกเป็นสื่อลินได้ยะแต่ชียแต่ตอนหนึ่งเราเนี่ยตัวสดรถตรงเลยนั่นเนี่ยไว้รุ่นดารุ่นจอเช้าเราไปหายมงเราไปจำยำห้องให้เตียโอ้มิสซี่เฮอร์ตู้วัวเตากูยิงวัวเตาเทียจะขอไปยิงสักกับไปมั่วจะน้าจะวัวจะมุ่งจอดลูกตรงเชียลูกตรงเชียเทียเจลูขอเปลี่ยนหุ่นนอจะยาตัวหายเช้าดาเช้ากับจะเนี่ยจะเทียจะจีแต่ว่าแต่เจนะต่อแล้วลูกชัวจีเยเทียก่อนแล้วกูขอปัสสาวะกับหนึ่งมือต่อตัวลูกตรงนั้นเทียพี่
ยามาย่าเลยก็อมัวให้ลูกหาเพียเจนกูจีหายกับเป้จะเนี่ยจะสิ่งแต่ว่าต่อใจเช่าสิเที่ยวหายก็เลยจะนอนจะวัวต่อ Fresno Unified ก็เลยเป้าเนี่ยก็เลยเป้าให้เตียไปลูก community เนาะไปปอดเตาให้เตียตุนไปตุนนั่งเจอเนี่ยมองสุดเลยเนี่ยเราหมู่ป้าเตาชัวหายหนึ่งที่สี่เนี่ยมีการแต่เนี่ยมั่วเขา proven recordเตียหนึ่งยิงอวดได้หนูอวดได้หนู equally เตีย equitably เราหมู่ป้าไปจะตูนสายเชื่อหายหนึ่งตัวกันตัว Fresno Unified School District หนึ่ง more experience หนึ่งอีตัว product of Fresno Unified School District วิลินตาไปเฉลี่ยตัวมันนะไปยิงตัวเช้าหนึ่งเทียไปอยู่ตัวเคลียร์ Fresno Unified School District เตียไปปอหนึ่งอวดตัวได้หนูจงบริจาป้าตัวเป็นบริจาทองเดมูยอ Fresno Unified bây giờ ta lu district school nhà tớiมีกาไอ้หมวกเขียนตามองเนี่ยvì hạtแต่ไปมัวมิสตีเทียไปมัวนั้นต้าตู่จะทางครูมองตุนสายมองเราโอ้โหลือยาตัว Fresno Unified ทำมิสตีเทียหนึ่งชื่อสังหังทองเดมูไปเจอเลยมองสละเลยยังป้าจะชัวให้หนึ่งยาตัว Fresno Unified เทียกูยังรงเชียหาเดียมันสาขาไปกันเนี่ยจะจีมองเฉยตัวก็จ้องหรือจ้องเตาไปเทลีเฉยหายอีลูชัวต่อเลยก็เลยเปล่า
我trong nước跑，我trong hồi tiệc có chờ họ muốn đi lưu chơi nữa nó cho là ba host có event nữa thì có tự show thì họ cái salad thì sự bảo trì thì chia sẻ hay tiệc và lời cô giờ xài bé tụi mình thì vì tiền này nhưng mà họ qualification ba tụi số hay nè cô chia bé số này ba tụi số hay nè thì giờ tôi cho ít là bé bạn liên ba sai họ lưu cái bắt sống là họ dùng mũi lý chán á, tôi cho跑。OK， 今日知識到我係真係啦，只一條個出聲，但係呢，睇啲係點樣呢？你多講路講清啦，一路幾不順的呢？我你係一零對天，你係做得起多開到白天，一嚟我係要係路咪架，睇路芒面住天，個你開到白天一零對天。Welcome to this community town hall meeting at the Fresno Center. And can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and your representative and what is this event tonight about?
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm Sally Frazier with Leadership Associates, and the Fresno Unified School District Board of Trustees has asked Leadership Associates, 3 of us that are here in Fresno this week, to meet with groups throughout the community. And this is a listening group, and we're particularly interested in what you have to say about what you're looking for in your next leader of Fresno Unified School District. What kind of personal and professional qualities you want your leader to have, because we know that the young people in your community deserve nothing but the very best, and that's what we want to be able to provide them. So your board, Fresno Unified Board, is very interested in what you have to say about that.
Nuku hatia nuku Sarah Fisher. Did I say right? Fraser. And nuku ya to dalu Fresno leadership, right? ตัวนี่ให้ชัดเจนเลย Fresno leadership นะตัวยังอีลูกกองเฮาFresno Unified School District นะทอเลยไปเล่นนะตัวนู้นนะตัวชัดเจนเขานะตัวลงไปเสียงลูกชัวที่แต่ไปเสียงเตะเกะเชิดเสียงเลยเตะเกะสาเตาแล้วเขามาลิมุขเราจะบอร์ให้เตียไปเสียงสาเตาลิจ่าเทลิจ่าก็เลยตัวใช้ว่าตัวใช้เสียสีที่ใช้เกี่ยยังยิงที่ตัวนอใช้ลูกชัวนู้นน่ะละซาในตัวนะยังในตัวลินในตัวลินไตที่ยังลีvì thế này bảo hay thì cho cái cần tao là giờ sai từ cái tao từ nên trong này nhưng mà mỗi họ chính cho the community hết chính cho bé chồng hông thì giờ này trong share tôi sẽ chén nữa nó. Thank you so much for coming to support this event and also to come and do your work.
Thank you, and thank you for the wonderful turnout. It's nice to see so many interested people.
Yes. Do you have anything else to add it to?
Just how important this is for the young people I've met here this evening.
Nếu có hành gì thì nếu có trong xe thì còn ý có chuyện chén hình cho bây giờ tôi xài lúa là cho lo tuần này vậy. Chỉ là lý thọ cái sẽ được hơn sáng gà thì, tôi chào. Ta xin nói cuối cho bé sẽ được cho là mình chỉ cuối từ phong như dòng nếu bây giờ đối với nó nếu có gì thế này khu nhà đó Fresno Unified School District thì cuối cần được khi này tôi mình chỉ cho bé thì cuối cần họ khi mình chỉ a little bit history cho bé mong Southeast Asian có và AB sẽ cho bé thì vấn đề thứ nào đó trong xe có tổng lượng phát sóng là thì cho có bây giờ thì ít tu Superintendent cho Fresno Unified School District ya có họ sẽ mình chỉ có tụi khen thì có khi mình chỉ hạt tiền nó có tôi ya có họ xả lý giá thế.
我就咁我俾佢俾你就到佢只杯都俾對，佢俾我個包包頭我啦係能夠到上來又擺啦，但係咪但係個包啲個時咧俾買股添啦，只得落股，佢又好攞對啦，對啦，睇個上都字啲。
買股就佢有個錢地，
好咯，哦，就個字係那個字包呢 ，OK， 即我做係點呢蒙 TV 整多冇TV USA 整多冇即係呢จะนักสัตว์ตัวมุ่งหายไปแล้วตัวมุ่งเกาเทียเนี่ยนะรีพอร์ตสอบไปขอเกชิถามมอนอเทียกูลุ่มไปหัวดัวเสียงบื้อกูยอดสีมงยา cú vô đi phải hay nó cú họ luyện nhất cho Fresno Unified School District cú lúc bây ở đây cái thái đồ họ giờ manager cú anh nó sai chùa bây cho mong program chỉ giờ đi bắt ta giờ thì tây rồi này là chỉ có cái cơ tàu là cơ tàu sử dụng nó muốn tàu lên tàu tụ hay sao thì mong dual language immersion program này thì còn nói giờ họ hay thì bây kia bây giờ mình nhiều cái là hai tàu ở nhà lu chỉ hay thì cỡ lu mong xứ đó là mà cỡ lu mong thiệt cỡ lu anh kỹ sĩ thiệt cái cỡ ở họ nó ok nó chỉ thuộc là cỡ tía nó chỉ là hai tàu ở nhà lu chỉ có muốn thi hậu lý trà nó lo anh chị này lời năng gì tía có đồ này vậy đó cóไปยิงเป่าวันเลยไปยิงเชิญนอกขนมเตาชาอ่ะตอนอ๋อลูกขนมเชิญตาอีลูกนี่อ่ะcáiเชิญสัตว์ตัวยันตัวnày chị sáng đầu nó lời hết tiền nhớ rồi học Fresno nó phải lời hết tiền học Fresno County nó này mua lần đầu hai nên hai lì giả luôn này có hai tàu giả luôn tới thiên này chị thầu có muốn chia hậu lửa lùi địa lùi hai cái đồ này ạ chị anh này nóไปเขา department nó mà cho có tiềnยี่ชิมอนต้องเดินเลยนะยี่ชิมอนต้องเดินเลยเจอันนี้นอไปเที่ยวลีละเที่ยวลินเดียกูนั่นเราไปเอาไปทุกสิ่งฟื้นเราหมดฉีกก็มั่วจะต้องเดินเที่ยวลีเครียดเต้าเราตัดใจกันเดินอ่ะแล้วก็เดินอังคีนะมามั่วจะ publisher ตู้ฉีเต้าตาเลยเจก็จะได้มั่วยัวละสินะหันเดินมองนะมาไปอีสื่อมองฉีมั่วเต้มั่วเชอนะอ่ะไปย้อนรู้เต้เชอตื้อเนาะหรอไปหมกเกลือหายนิ่งจะรู้นะอย่างเงี้ยเต้เชอเราชวนเราไปเกลือหลุมหลอกอะไรเงี้ยบุรฟ้ากีละเกลือฟ้ากีอย่างเงี้ยเต้เชออเมริกาเราละเกลืออังคีนะโอเคเจอันนี้เนาะbây chỉ mua khai tiệc khen đón tới nó chỉ bây giờ chỉ mua tụ đón tới sau bây sau nó lại ta là bây giờ sau xí xùa bây giờ tiệc kia tới chờ lo tôi thấy tới rồi tới giờ mình cả nó sẽ mà chỉ mua khai tiệc kia formally kia nhớ rồi chỉ cần này à chỉ ta sẽ nó bây mua kia nó chỉ bây giờ sẽ là một chỉ cho đón tới mà còn nói không có sau xí sắp lâu đi về đó khai tiệc và ta có thể ấy là để bắt đầu trong ở xếp lâu này à nếu cô tu xia hay để bây mua bây tu chạy là tàu trò là cho xia thì lúc xia hơn là nhưng mà để chỉ tàu mua bây giờ nên là mua xí phương đầu mà giờ chỉ mua nên từ là cậu chỉ tàu mua từ là cậu xí phương thêm mua nhớ cho cái xia là đểแต่ก็ position เชียนะมาอย่าดีเดียวกับมันเอาไปต้นเชียอีตัว superintendent นะจะตอนเดิมสอนใช้ไปจะมองเนี่ยเนาะมันใช้ประตูมอเลยเอาไปตู้เต็มตัวเดียวจะรู้ชื่อเดิมไปที่ลีลามุนดformer assemblywoman series chỉ tổ chức chạy AB xa châu gì hay có yếu chủ mua khen tới mong nhớ cho họ cho chơi cần tới để có bé chấm nhầm mong lời lo tua lời một giờ phải chơi cần tới lời nhận tới lời bỏ thì ô vì lý giải bé tôi sao tới chơi mấy cả nó vì đó có bé nhẹ bé chỉ nhưng muốn cho món xả cho là bỏ luôn tới đây chờ na bé thì tôi cho nó đó có phình đâu na có tới cũ na thầu bé một cần tới này như chỉ mua khen này à lúc xưa hơn đâu thổi series nếu tôi bịa này nếu tôi news there you know what mua chỉ của tao nè, em nửa có bếp của chị cái có bao nhiêu đấy ta mà mua lúa trong bếp rồi nhớ bao nhiêu lúa trong này ít tu thôi rồi này của hai tiệt của tôi chỉ bảo hai tiệt của món lọ có từ lọ nè của tôi mua cờ cái xe đi về Fresno State là nè em bếp mà đi mua món class là mua Asian American class em bếp mà đi cờ nè ta chỉ cho mình nhỏ nó nè lấy tôi chỉ tao cờ li em tiệt bây giờ to là một đó cái xe nè, giờ lấy thứ cho là cho xe lên này, giờ hiện tại chủ mua kia nhớ đồ cái dầu lò mùng nè, giờ hiện tại bây giờ chỉ tao trái chạy đã xỉu rồi, ta có hai cho ta nói là tôi chỉ tao implement đâu lý do, giờ lúc xưa nói giờ lúc xưa rong hay thì bây kia tao nó mong nhớ đồ all lúc chỉ cần tao nó, mà giờ bây giờ thì kia của mình giờ nhìn đâu lý thì, you know, giờ chỉ cần tao sẽ bây giờ kia cho mong căng cừ, bây giờ kia cho mong tay su chi, bây giờ kia cho thì mong lò có từ lò, mong tay rau tay mò, mong tay cá lì cây trái, bây giờ kia tên tới coi chấm nhiều thế thì bảo hạt tiền, bây hai này mong bây cho tradition, yeah, lý giải.
I wanted to echo của xã hội mình chính trị cho đua corona. Thầu một lần tao giờ vấn đề là cho lúc xưa đua ưu sinh trí kia giờ, chị Olivia của tôi hai mình chỉ là thia hai tia thầu y cho chậu nó vậy. Mà bên mong nhau học phải mà chống chấp là lấy tới lúc hôm kia mà mua xâm nhận mong liêm nhận mong chống chỉ chống,แต่是因为ตัวnày cũng mong, tôi chỉ mua từ teacher A, tôi chỉ mua từ liaison person nhau lúc school đó, là một chỗ lúc school đó là special liên đó nè. Chỉ nếu mua conflict nên đó cho nhiệt gì thế cho này khu thế cho the principal nè, chỉ lấy mua sĩ chỉ mua tăng mạnh mua plon thu liệt, chỉ lấy cho community leader lo cho nhiệt cho gì lo tôi mua phát song, chỉ lấy khu cho sorry ít tu liệt của cho họ để của community organizer chỉ cho tôi muốn lòng là cho tăng mạnh thế nè. I'm continuing to participate là cho meeting thế continue là cho parent meeting for tàu du lịch ý xong đó. chị ủa chị biết thế result to her problem đó chị là cũng một cái thay dân sĩ học sinh chị tụ superintendent cái thằng đó vậy nó thoát gì cái họ news cho bây giờ mong chị thầu họ còn cái result kia là hai cái ý tưởng mong từ teacher mong xong là cho họ chị là hai cái ý tưởng lễ dòng mong thế là hai cái ý tưởng lễ dòng mẹ đó là họ lựa chọn school nữa chị bây giờ continue pushing to advocate có Fresno Unified là mà yêu chủ hai mong teacher là move all the way to administration right chị ít không bao giờ tiếp bắt thầu cho chọn là đôi vậy đó là tôi là chân tôi ốp hạ bao giờ cần cho rong đâu cô để chị mà chắc là chủ đối cho tới mình 우리 그 commit suicide nữa vậy, okay, chỉ biết chắc revisit, chỉ biết mà li organize, biết ban group đó, tàu biết hữu nhiệt thiết sĩ thiết teacher thiết church pastor community leader thiết cho công học thiết sĩ tôi bắt sống vậy, chỉ biết tập biết họ voice story, yêu lì chỉ biết sẽ decide, chỉ biết mua biết lu biết ban group nữa, tỷ luôn biết hùa mong education task force. Vậy thằng đó chỉ đôi ý tu teacher and about very knowledgeable about education. Thế school đó họ thằng này teacher này cũng sẽ có whole position thế chỉ sure vậy.
Thằng đó cũng sư phụ chữ sinh đó.
Tu yes tu sư phụ chữ sinh thì nếu bảo nên tao chỉ chú đua là chỉ có đua là educate bé thế kia bé thế hai tiệt bé mù đồ tập school na bé giờ tập bé lúc xưa là bé giờ ôn chạy lúc sen nó na. Chỉ đua cũng giờ ý tu very mentor guide bé ban group thế. Chỉ ôn là một chỉ bé sẽ lấy tập họ advocate thiết bị sẽ tờ delegate đua muốn ra ra rate sau khi biểu xa cho AB xa cho nè chỉ không biểu nó sẽ số bí mà bây giờ họ biết của tiền mong biểu na vậy đó là bây cũng mua cái chùa mong hay chả thế chùa mình chỉ một tính mình chỉ chùa mình chỉ qua chỉ bây không biểu nó sẽ bông là cho Southeast Asian AB xa cho gì là thì I believe tại lúc xưa mà đó chứ cũng mà nhà cô nhà ít khai đó vậy, đó một cô đối khai của một cô của ít khai, ô chị cô sòn trong bằng group này cô cho lấy ta cái chia sẻ chị bé cho lấy cô, cho nên hiện thế cho nhiệt sĩ ba bên này cô cho lấy nhiều mua nhiều ta, bao ta thế giờ bị hai tia, họ biểu nó chỉ tao trở lấy bé chia sẻ thế, giờ họ biểu nó bây giờ là sau có Fresno Unified School District K một số K tour. Your children be mong kinh cử, your children be mong họ involvement of secret work. How we got to tàu lưới channel, ở nhà bên tàu lưới channel. Thì có your children promote, hay thì your children hire mong này khu thì mong administration đồ này vậy. Bây giờ họ phía, chị quản lý đối hài nữa, thầu be xin giải ta chị trong gọi li, họ biểu nó school thì chỉ muốn là implement này vậy. Là giờ lý giải thì có nhớ tàu school có thể bao rộng.
Chị thầu ra cho nên thầu chị họ vào cụ sa tiền chính chẳng nó phải hay họ tiền nhớ rồi yêu tàu cho nên xấu là chỉ xấu nè chị còn đây ít lúc mà đặc là một hai khi đó họ nó phải tua lúc xưa hàng đời của những họ được đôi ít tu này ở những very support những xấuไปthế này chịไปที่li bây giờ chỉ tao cho mong voices video có bên nhà cá là cho mong voices video của bây một anh nó sắp ha xí lo này cũng vào bò bây một sắp ha bây cho mong cô tu cho thì khi cho bây là cho năng này chỉ những nhà bây tao cái ba là một the local school district thì bây giờ chỉ tao cho video nó thì bây giờ chỉ tao cho nó tao chỉ bây một xí đấy bây một khi thì đó mà vì đó khó trả chạy proposition của chị các ông bọn của chị nè, trái cây này, ở đâu chỉ mua kia anh nó bilingual education nè, chị hiện nay chị bây giờ chỉ tao mua nó đã đa li, bây lúc xưa bây giờ thì chỉ thay lên nó tàu xong thôi một chị dùng cái đi mua cho này là một lần này ạ, chị anh nó chỉ li còn này chỉ đi cú nhái một đó bây khó luôn thế này ạ, chị còn này chỉ đi chỉ mua là nè, cái gì mà ta chỉ nó người ta cái yêu lúc họ giống vì đó có thể ta chỉ nó bây stayเลยกูđã cái là một sau cho cái kia cầu hay ở nhà luôn nó, thế ta chỉ nó bây giờ mua cho seafood tàu, thế bây giờ mua ít tu trong cái misty, nhớ rồi đã học bảo giờ ít tu là một sau anh nó bây cho mong program thế như là một mentor là một kia bây giờ seafood có là một anh nó administrator là một vice principal là một principal gìนะchị bây thì mua rủ thế nào chị còn nói thế họ tiền họ bây tôi nói giờ ít họ chỉnh chỉnh hàng ngày tiền bây giờ chủ sĩ tàu số thế bây giờ chủ anh nó sĩ cộng xe hai cậu tàu ít tu anh nó superintendent li misty là một là họ hồi nói bây giờ sao ô đi cho anh nó ít tu nhiều họ hay nói tiền từ tàu mỗi ít họ tới mình á để bây mà li react nè ôi yo trong nó lo mình yo sao sao chỉ mà yo oli cha lại thì oh yo more light gain bây giờ cha bây giờ chủ tịch bảo thì seize on this opportunity li mình cái na hay tiền nói yo ilu chi phí trong rồi bây hay tiền yo hay tiền bây proactive na bây advocate thì bây này nó sẽ được tạo số cùng thông sẽ cùng chủ li mong hay suy sau hay bây giờ chỉ yo tu thì yo là một tí nhưng mà trong school boy yo là một tí ta chỉ bây giờ tôi tạo chỉ bây giờ tôi tạo số li nó kia thì bây giờ tạo ít tu nên trong li cha bây chỉ tạo yo một tí vì tôi bây tu một ít tu the superintendent deputy superintendent miss đi nước khó lường tới kia tới giờ khó lường nhưng sau sự design là một nhóm tới có từ từ superintendent nó chỉ còn là một cái từ là một tấm mình đi là chỉ nên sợ chẳng là off nè chỉ nên những đó từ superintendent nó off lượt xịt xịt về một cái từ là những off cái đơn đại chỉ nên bảo ra rong chỉ sau thì từ superintendent ta chỉ nói những chuyện nó bên nhau sau đó lý ta chỉ hay chăm pin á chỉ những cái một thay kỳ nó là miss đi cái đi sợ chẳng là off những off tàu nè chỉ biết chỉ tại một chia săn đầu coi một chia săn đầu nó mà những do thì cái chạy con đi hao lười chỉ cái tàu khí eco sẽ đời trong nên tàu tụ tôi mua apply tôi mua off giờ anh nhà mua lúc community thì là của xã thì những nhà tôi mua hay còn là tụi nên tàu thì còn nói gì natural ta chỉ mà hiện tại chị bé món này we going to stand behind bé tụi nên right thì còn nói có của hồ đồ sợ đời thì rồi nó chỉ là ta li nó xíu cho listening session nó chừng muốn nâng đầu nhau rồi school cho tiền này tôi cũng chỉ tao bé món nó này sai hiểu tới rồi chúa vậy món nó tới chỉ nó sư cũng ít tu phèo nhá phải đóng cái này there is also one tonight cũng thứ tao sao sửa thì mua illusion đi nó nhớ rồi phải đóng cái món nói này na mua nhớ rồi áo đi mua nhớ rồi sani sai so anh thì nó thế là lừa anh thì lấy mua nhớ rồi ở bên lúc chạy còn tao ấy thì này tôi chỉ tao món nó cá chim mua thì thâu nó mua luôn sẽ là bỏ cho chạy một tao school board meeting này cá chim mua
chính nè hali đó hay nè nè cho anh nhớ gì nhớ tao chạy nè nên mua mình tu mình nhớ một cần tao nhớ học Fresno Unified School District nè chủ sai sửa cho luật để cái lệ cái chạy luật để policy luật để mua bắt sớm về school rồi chả nè chủ một tao sao tao cá muốn lồng theo một cổng theo nè một tỏi nè lúa xua thế nào tỏi nè lúa xua thế còn nó bao hai tiệt bé khó cái xuất sinh bé khó cái chơi là chả thế bé bỏ rong lên từ bé mong nhiều mấy từ very qualified ya miss thì hơi yếu là qua tao từ superintendent thế mà bé sa cả tao nữa vì hai tiệt luôn cho mấy là luôn như là nè mi cả luôn là nè đu là như là nè là hai nên là luôn những người voice out luật từ candidate này nè bé lấy mua phèn tí dạng cầu voice out bé từ candidate thế mà bé sa cả tao miss thì hơi ya lấy đua có vật sa hai tiệt chỉ thọ advocate ab xa cho gì là cho nên nó bé lọ đe hình lại thế giờ giờ chắc không bao giờ thế giờ khó giờ come true
yes we didn't check tao hay tiệt they nó là bé nhưng bồi make cái bé nhưng make progress là bé nhưng lo từ đấyเลยnếu cứ chỉ tao cho kia khó bé sát tao ta chỉ hay tiệt bé chừng sau tao rồi mới xí có cho kia là chỉ bé thâu kia ít thành gì thế nào and nếu ấy thuộc cậu gì ấy chỉ như ta như thâu tú ta chỉ như chỉ tu cơ bé chơi chùa bé tay mình tu mình nhọ ta chỉ nó lời sai trong ý là bắt ta mấy tu mình nhọ nhau tao anh nó cần tao anh nó chỉ cần tao vấp bỏ nữa thứ hai tiệt cú xả cú thứ bao ở nhà đuổi nhà đi miss này cái cú yếu quá tao lên nữa nè cái nhà tiệt là hai bên tiệt tao bé tu ninh là ấy tu cổ nhân tới tiệt là ấy tu sau bé chỉ mình nhọ này chỉ là hai nhà chơi một day hai nhà chậu chua bé chậu này gì sao cái bao số sẽ được kia cho ấy bên tiệt nhân chơi có tay mình tu mình nhọ tôi nhớ tay chơi nói tao uốn nọ chữ lọ nè cái nếu muốn tao họ cái nọ chữ này ấy khó nói ấy khó tiệt được cái tu superintendent mà nữa ấy khó lử lo ấy khó lử chính nên là một gì tao nhà rồi bé school district Fresno Unified nó giờ luôn school district lot cho bởi thị bé nè, cái bé mà cha chỗ chia từ những nhỏ nè, cái bé muốn đầu cha lại cậu chia lên employees nè, cái bé chồng mong chong lên đầu tụi lưỡi nhau chỉ hay classify đi bắt ta nó là một đồ teachers là một đồ admin có admin này có cái bé chừng nhau sau bé cho sư phụ cũng dạy rồi ấy cái bé mới từ trong cái liền Messi nó là hay vậy rồi chú tao bé cho nên cũng dạy rồi.
Ok, chị trong xe hàng này đó trong xe có một cái xe là NTV thế khi mình chỉ có thực hiện thế cho education issue thế matters cho bé thế, dần dần nó luôn bắt sống mà nó bé tôi này thằng họ meeting này bé thật cho hai thế, bé advocate có Fresno Unified School District nó high misty high là bé từ next superintendent cho bé vì thế bé bỏ thế này những qualified thế này very passionate thế này tôi bảo luôn họ lười ta là cho nữ gia ôn nó là những ôn tàu nó tay kia là những ôn tàu chỉ ta là những muốn chơi thu day chỉ nhớ họ bé rồi là represent bé là mà giờ linh good luck to miss it hơi thế đó và cho nó
Ocho.
chỉ nào một của hai cho bé làm mình chỉ ít tôi phong như thế nào thì hai tiền lúc nào họ tôi cùng lu cái sala là lu cùng sống là thì còn nếu khi này tôi khen được bé xem họ những thứ thìวันhai tuần tháp bé sala thì họ cho đã chỉ tôi ba thì tôi share đấy thì nhớ rằng họ khi cái tôi khen mình chỉ được bé thì có lúc tệ họ lử thì có họ tôi chỉ lúc nào thì
nhớ rằng cô luôn bây giờ nó thay xong này cô ấy từ sư phụ khen đó nhớ cho Fresno Unified tại sao cô lúc thay rồi teacher on special assignment cô ban cho Hmong language program cho bây giờ high school bây giờ gì lúc chơi cái đó nó bây giờ từ cho khen đó Hmong này cho bây giờ Fresno Unified để chuyển ba cho EL students nhớ cho Fresno Unified thế
thì lúc nào có họ tua cổng lú cổng song cái sala nó này họ có tua cho sẽ được bảo la lệ chi thì họ cho cái kia tua kia được bé thì là lấy trả có kia sau lúc bắt sủng lúc nào thì
họ có tua nó mà cũng sẽ tua vì thế nhớ cho tập bên Hmong community mà deputy superintendent Mr. Her vậy tua thay cho nhớ cho bên lu Fresno Unified này tại vì nó vậy lu chạy rong ở bên sẽ được yêu chủ tôi kia cho tàu Fresno Unified cái là bao chấm bao bao tại ít tu thay cho yêu cho bé chân này yêu chủ bao cho bé cho tên mình tên giờ Hmong community xã tàu này giờ yêu lấy bé họ Hmong language program Hmong DI program khi ở họ luôn á cho nên cho truyền chính vậy sao cái bé tôi chỉ trong cái là bao tại bé chơi tại bé sao cái là bỏ bé lúc chuyện
giờ ít khó rong thế vì hai tiền Messi nó này cũng giờ ít thua họ lần tới hiện là cho họ Fresno Unified School District về bé cũng xã có là bao hai tiền nó bé lúc xưa thế sao nó cao bé nào mà bây giờ về giờ tiền bé như xã có tao này là rõ rất lúc trong là was to school superintendent vậy thế về lúc nó và nên tính nó lại thế nênวันนี้chỉ tao vào tao chơi cho nên tụi mình là nên họ mua cái chơi xe thế họ mua cái support thia cả bé họ tàu bé tuần nên là một rõ rất là trong thia có bao nhiêu chuyện gì thia
yeah, good that vì mua deputy superintendent Misty này giờ nên nhớ tao chơi bé họ Hmong language program na để ta sẽ bé muốn chơi mua ya bé muốn cho từ là rồi cho thay cho school board cho city council nó lo bao giờ ta Hmong nó nhận lên từ thế bây giờ lù nó chỉnh chỉnh bảo lý cho nó mà sáng cái bây giờ này cho chính nhớ tầm văn thật chế là rất là tỷ ban trên nông ấy cái bây mua sở nó bây chơi cái sẽ ra nó bắt đầu Misty nó lúc bây từ superintendent cho Fresno Unified, ở trong này,
ở trong nên đó nè, chỉ là nó cũng khó cho bé muốn gì bé thôi nó cho nó cho uống nhá họ trong Fresno thìแต่ในมัวจ้องเล่นจ้องตัวในที่เป้าเลยที่หายแต่ในยันเล่นตัวเวียแต่ในยันอีตัวเราตัวไปรู้มองหนูเยอะของชิงล็อกก็อย่างก่อนยัดทำมีการเต้เลยยัดทำ Fresno นะจริงๆกูเขาจันในเรามุนจีโดยดักแต่ตัวรู้เท่าที่หายแต่นู่นนอนหนูเขาตัวนะยันหนูตัวดัชชีที่ตัวกงลูกกงชิงเดี๋ยวนะเขาจะดัชชีที่ยัดจงดักแต่ตัวรู้ก็เขาเคลียร์ก็ตัวแค่มินจีโดไปเสด็จโดยจะเนี่ยจะจีแต่ว่าแต่ใจที่
ต้องมาโอเคอีเสียแต่ป้อกูเลยแต่อีเสียชิป้อกูอยากดักตัวเลยท่ายาตานากูอยากตัว mechanical engineer ที่นั่งเอาชี้เสียงตาแล้วนะกูว่าหรือโดยอันนี้นะรัฐบาลอเมริกา federal government กูตัวมัน is very exciting แต่เขาเดี๋ยวไปไม่ตัวหมวกมองมีสติเฮอร์หนึ่งย่อเรียชับเลยย่อกายแล้วไอ้ตัว superintendent of Fresno so I'm very excited that's I'm here ไป
อยากไปยิงสากต่อไปอีตัวตู้เลยทุนชายเลย especially Misty นะเราชอบลุจงนะที่พี่ให้เดียลุเราเขาหรือนะไปยิงปออันดูจตอนเต้าชงเราเลยแต่นี้มัวลุเป็นสื่อนี่ว่าเต้าที่นี้มัวจะเกินใจที่รงเชียให้ถึงเราก็จะตัวเช่าที่ตัวเป้าละหรือจีที่สากจะเนี่ยแต่เนี่ยใจที่จีใจแต่ว่าแต่ใจเป้าให้เดียไปอีทุนชายอยู่เราเชิญท่านว่าชิจังลุจงนะมาทอไปรงเชียให้เดียทอกันในมัวเกยิงซื้อโอลีนากูหันน้องก็มีจีจ้ามองดูเยอะที่ตัวน้องเป็นเจ้าตาเลย it seems like it's very successful event this year and very จงเชียร์แห่งวันนี้ก็เชียร์ไม่ประตูที่ there was the outcome ที่ was the next step
ว่าช่วงนั้นกูรงเชียร์ชับเลยที่เป็นลูกไปจะมองเนอะเชียร์กูรู้สึกเป็นลูกไปจะมองหมูรงเจอเกาหลีเป็นลูกหอบเพียที่วิที่จะสังเกตรัวเราปัจจัยโปรแกรม run very smooth ไปจะมูสังลาวงเราที่อย่างเก่าจะแบบกระตุ้นปอลูกเจนนะไปวอลลูกเจน entertainment party นะซึ่งมันหมอนนอมตัวลาวงหุงเก้าสุดเดลามุกุสาติสุดจะตัวมันอร่อยแต่ตาลีจะรัวละมุนตองบานเกี่ยวเขาลูกฉับปอ nâng bún gạo sư của tôi chỉ không xua cả thì xa cho miệng sai đầu thì cái là lỡ lỡ ta rồi cũng chẳng muốn nói đầu ít chuyện thế nào là xí số tôi cũng chỉ chắc là cũng chỉ muốn là chỉ tôi xí là cho nó cho họ tí xí xử lý bỏ ra để nó dàn thọ là cho trong lần nhữngตัวcổng tí xí rồi cho để cho cũng tu trò tí xí cũng rong xét chấp là thì bây giờ mong này ít xí tôi chỉ tao bao cụ là nó thì tao bây giờ là chỉตัวba thì tiền là cái nào cũng đã cũng rong xét chấp là thì dùng nó tiền là dùng tiền là lo mong nè bây giờ chỉ ít xí đó cụ thì wow xong nó cái giờ mong tao tao bây giờ wow cụ từ đầu cụ thì Rocky va thọ xong nó nữa tôi chỉ Rocky cụ từตัวนี้mongว่า Rocky va thọ nó cụ thế mà area ya từตัวchân sai con rùa ya cụ thế area ya thọ nó cụตัวที่joking chỉ xong nó bây giờ ba bây giờ là bây giờ thì yêu chuẩn theo sẵn xin á bây một chút xóa sẵn là ba này chỉ ta đến đó ít khó cắt bỏ bay tí cho mình lo lo sư bây giờ có chơi xong sư mà không được cái rong ta đấy mà cũngตัวlên bây giờ ta sẽ tất nhiên mà cũng rong xe rồi bây hai người mong ta là tí gì giờ chỉ taoตัวba làตัวsơ cũng bỏ thì làตัวnày là gì ta ra đây chọn tao
cho nên đặc biệt là cho họ thì cũng những bỏ hai thì xong nó thọ cũng mua sĩ hay mấy muốn gì này vậy giờ cũng bỏ họ cũng nhiều chấp là xong đó giờ cho tuấn sai luôn lần đầu volleyball inside lấy có hay ok giờ đó cho tuấn sai luôn tôi chú không mấy nu cũng mua giờ cũng mua thay TVนั่นแหละว่าจะปอเล่นเที่ยวจุดจันทร์จะตุนใส่หัวซื้อกูแต่โอ้ไอ้เป็นลงสมัยเราถือจะเราปอเนี่ยเลยที่จะเราสมัยอีกข้อเกี่ยวกับที่จะส่งเสียเลยจะเจียเสียนจงหัดเดียเลยส่งจะ要ส่งชาเทียไอ้ก็จะไปมืออีกก็จดได้เทียไอ้ก็ประมาณชิ้นสี่เทียดักแต่ตลุก
กูชัวร์ชาวโรงห้องทีวีที่ไปนั่นก็กูสึกกูบอกก็ตัวก็หลัวละก็ยี่ตัวมาเชียก็สาป้าไปจะให้มองมันก็เขาเกี่ยวมาเชียเขาลุ่มมองนะเขา advocacy ที่ add passion จริงๆเราก็สิ่งเนาะกูทักหัวก็ที่กูสายที่ชงเนาะชงไปเจ้าตันเดเนาะย้อนจริงเราเนี่ยชักกูเนาะไปตู้ปีนบ้าเลยจิตตาเนี่ยกูสายที่เขาอีกสายที่ชับเลยมันจะไม่ตันเดเนาะไปไม่ตู้ใส่มองเราหมด superintendent เขาเนี่ยเขากูบ้าเชียเราชับเลยต่อโอเค我转到ไป
我真的到那，我说侬那个在菜路工程那天，我说。
Thank you.
Can I get folks to come and sit at these two tables in front? Don't be shy. Yes, these two tables. It's not reserved for anybody. It's actually reserved for you. All right, good evening and welcome to the Fresno Center.
I want to make sure that your board hears what you want to tell us about what you're seeking in your next superintendent. The superintendent sets so much of the tone on us to hear, and we are going to share this information with the school board. Our target date to do that is March 6th, so it's coming fairly soon. We only have a couple more listening sessions this week, and then we'll be getting a report together to take to the board. So with that, I'm interested, I'm going to take some notes because I won't remember it all what do you want to see? What kind of a leader do you want to see to lead the children in your district? Anyone want to start? I know I've spoken with some of you earlier. Good. I have the hand in the back.
Raise your hand again.
Good evening. My name is Choi Bang. I'm a retired high school counselor from Fresno Unified School District, and currently I'm the president of the Long Veterans Group in Fresno. And I strongly feel that we need to select a superintendent who is a local leader, who has experience with teachers, parents, and the community in Fresno, not somebody that are new to the district and not knowing what's going on. And if I can mention one person, I feel that Miss Her is a well-qualified person because she has been a teacher, principal, vice principal, and now in the district. And I feel she's well-qualified.
Thank you for sharing that.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Tulu Tao, and as a background, I was a mechanical engineer for about 15 years. In the last 25 years or so, I've been a federal government official for the Central Valley. my jurisdiction is the 16th county here in the Central Valley. I recently retired and take on the challenge of organizing the Hmong New Year, and we did our first year last year. I'm here because I'm very excited. This community is very diversified. I lived here for 40 years. I know what struggle it is like. I came here because one thing I believe it's very strong in our community that you do not understand multicultural until you speak more than one language. I suggest that the next person should at least speak one language besides English. Not just that, I'm here for a very selfish but specific reason. I think, like a plane, you have a co-pilot. If the pilot can manage it, the co-pilot jumped in. We have one person here who is very well qualified. I didn't know her per se, I only know her by name, but I got to know her a few months ago when we started organizing this new year. She's very humble, very professional, very deliverable, and she's very respected in all aspects of the work that she does. And it would be nice to have her, because that also will bring a different role model into this community. That person will inspire minority and women to advance their career and to understand their value. And the person I like to mention is her name because I want you to know who I'm talking about. That's Miss T. Her. And I really think she's very well qualified. I'm here especially to support Miss T. Her. I think she can do a very great job for the Central Valley. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vincent Zhang. Thank you for giving our community an opportunity to share our voice. Really important night tonight, so we appreciate that. As a member of the local community and a former student of the Fresno Unified School District, I'm also a product of McLean High. Go Highlanders. Any Highlanders in here? Right. Yeah, I played sport, did advocate, gate school, all the shenanigans my parents told me to do, or else, we get in trouble. So did all that, did my time, served my term in high school. But tonight, I would like to your attention to this critical matter of hiring a culturally mindful superintendent for the school district. It is imperative that we prioritize diversity, equity, inclusion in our educational leadership to ensure all students feel seen, heard, and are supported. A cultural mindful superintendent will bring a unique perspective and understanding of the diverse background and experience of our students, parents, and diverse community. This individual will promote and continue to welcome an inclusive environment where every student, regardless of race, ethnic, or culture, feels valued and respected. By hiring a culturally mindful superintendent, we demonstrate our commitment to fostering a school community that celebrates diversity and promotes cultural awareness. Hiring a culturally mindful superintendent and leader will not only benefit our students, parents, partners, but will enhance the overall educational experience and success of our school district, and most importantly, respect the richness of our culture within our community. I just want to urge the school to really consider the importance of hiring a superintendent who embodies cultural mindfulness and inclusivity, where every student thrives and feels a sense of belonging. So I'm counting on you to take back our voice tonight so we can unite in our commitment to hiring a superintendent who leads with empathy and respect.
Culturally, because
for one thing I like to express as far as the superintendent will be like to see is somebody who is culturally understanding and understands the culture that is Hmong. somebody who can be seen at fair and somebody who we can approach, somebody we can recognize.
You're directly to your student here, just direct to your student here, your staff within the education of the video. Take your mom, all of you, the good job, Johnny, and the good job, you're the Jolly Gunga share, pay your coach, percent your mom to your Jamaican idea.
And I want to express that within the Fresno Unified, as far as the parents and employees to the students, we make up about 15%, and having this superintendent who we can express and be comfortable with and recognize, and somebody who's culturally fair would help us out a lot as far as reaching students.
其他的了还真的叫都我后来到这面跟他三个都 superintendent 多的那报道的，被叫梦的这种有周末一叫被叫梦了，叫 management 的。
And for the superintendent, for this future superintendent to recognize, to see that some of the there is a portion of employees within the Fresno Unified are mom, and that to see if there's opportunities for higher landing for these employees, so it better help serve the community.
กูบอกจะ management 要จะ principal จะมั่ว了呢，但是你要到被叫 classify 呢，被叫 classify 也只มั่วจะกูว่าที่จะเชื่อเดียกูเต็มบ้านมั่ว被叫 classify ก็น้อไปตัวเดียจะ要你呢有只มั่วจะ要到 classify management มั่ว的是嘛就被叫 classify 只มั่วจะคนเดียวไปสาดาว
And as far as the community, how I see it, I want more mom employees in the Fresno Unified to be able to hold bigger positions as far as going from principals to superintendents and further.
คนน้อยพอไปขับ culture wise นะแค่คนน้อยจีนอีขับกูปอทีเดียวแต่เชื่อไปจอตู้ใส่ว่าเราจะกันได้กูสาดิจะจ้องสาดิกูสายังอยู่ยังไปขับกินเช่นจะยังไปขับกินเช่นไปขับ culture ขับ culture ยังความรู้จีไปเจ้าจะรู้จีไปเจ้ากูสากับ Fresno Unified ที่เขาเชิญเราไปว่าจีไปเจ้าเราไปจะมีตู้มีกันได้ที่จะมีจะจีตัวที่เขียนตัวเรียนเนี่ยให้ไปจงวิจารจะเลยที่จินบุรีไปจะมีอย่างนี้เขาเจอกันได้ที่จะมีจี
And I want to express this because it's a reflection of our cultural identity, our cultural rights, and this, in turn, it would be beneficial to the community and to the students to reduce bullying, to reduce the hazing, the inappropriate things that happens within Fresno Unified.
Okay.
So thank you very much. These are all this is what I would like to say. Thank you.
But I'm also a parent of a future Fresno Unified School District student, and she's gonna go to kindergarten next year. But also, someone said to me in education recently that if you want to make an impact on our educational system, you start before you have kids, and you start before your kids become the student, so that you're actually changing the system and not just changing the condition for your child. And so this is why I'm here tonight, and my dad is here because he's going to be a grandfather to a Fresno Unified student, and he has been. But, you know, I have a lot to say about people who have, you know, a particular leader at Fresno Unified that has been in her position for many years, but also been a huge advocate to our community. And I hope there's continued opportunities for us to express our support of her leadership. But your question was on professional and personal attributes of this position. And I would say that as education has become much harder for us to, for our leaders to deploy, because within our communities, there are so many issues that they have to tackle on top of just teaching our kids in the classroom. And a leader in this position needs to understand all those things, that it goes from the community, the home, into the classroom, and back into the home and into the community. So that person needs to be able to bridge what is happening in those homes, what's happening in our homes, what's happening in our communities, and taking that understanding back into the classroom and applying things so that all parents and students feel supported at home, because the classroom is just an extension and the home is an extension. And so, I think one of the other things that's been missing, and I feel like over the last couple of years have seen Fresno Unified improve on, and I hope continues, is that we have this rich dual language immersion program. And it's something that, when I had a leader tell me that you had to start advocating for these things before your kid goes to school, I started advocating for it before because I knew I wanted my child to go to a dual language school. And I hope that continues, that someone understands that there is innovation in education that needs to happen for our kids to be stellar students, for them to grow into adults that are responsible, that are empathetic, that are learners. And so I feel like it's a teacher, a leader, a superintendent that is taking into account the many different ways that we need to start changing our education system in order to provide the richness that our kids need in our community. And to echo the other speakers, empathy, diversity. I'm sorry, I'm a mom woman, so I'm going to say women leadership. It's time for us to actually advance that and support that. But the diversity and inclusion is really critical and key because we have one of the most diverse districts in the country. And because we're one of the most diverse districts in the country, we can't expect that they should just be a superintendent that's great on paper. They should have lived experience. And we have leaders within the ranks of Fresno Unified that have lived experience, that have done the work, from being a teacher to a principal whose family also has been part of the Fresno Unified School District. And so I hope you all take that into consideration and take that back to the school board.
Up there too. So my concern today, or as well as my voice today, is that ever since 1990s, right now I'm just a stay-home mom, I'm retired, but ever since 1990, myself, I was the community organizer and also a refugee resettlement program director, settling the refugee through the whole Central Valley, Bakersfield to Merced. So I have worked my whole almost 20 to 30 years with the refugee family and the Southeast Asians and other refugees families. Back in 1990, I remember that there's a school that has so many Hmong students in that school. And I'm not going to name the school, but they don't have a home teacher. They don't even have a school liaison person in that school. So there was a lot of conflicts in that school that as a community organizer, I was invited to participate in some other meeting just like this. And that's where my passions was driven me that, you know what, we have to do some advocacy or just some meeting or bring parents together to share our voice. Why is it the school has so many Hmong students and there's not even a teacher aide in that school? So slowly I called the communities together, church, pastor, leaders, elders, students from the whole Fresno County together, and we start brainstorm, sharing ideas, and then we formed ourselves a group called Hmong Education Task Force. And I'm happy to see that one of my colleagues, she's also with the Fresno Unified School District at that time. I invite a lot of teachers and other parents, especially staff from the school district to come, and she was the first one step forward and come and help me. And so as we organizing and have our voice heard out there, months and months of meeting, and then she came up with the ideas, and we delegated her to go and work with Sarah Ray, Assemblywoman Sarah Ray at that time, to work with her to brainstorm ideas of how we wanted the school district to do a better job outreaching and especially hire a Hmong teacher in the Central Valley in the Fresno School Unified District. So Joy will play a really, really crucial role because she has so much knowledge in the education in that area. Well, I'm just a community organizer and I'm learning for her. So she stepped forward and we did months and months of works, and she was working very closely with Sarah Ray to draft a bill. It's called AB 78. And our whole group was mobilized, organizing that bill until it was signed by the governors. And that is to encourage the school to encourage them to teach the secret war of Hmong people, our role involved in that role, and how we came to America because of that. So that bill was signed, but for years, nothing much happens, and slowly, I would say, 5-10 years later, slowly things are moving. And we start seeing a lot of teachers, we start seeing vice principal, we start seeing principal. So today, on behalf of Dua, I believe she will feel the same thing I do. We are shaking, we are just like, oh my God, it's happening, right? Because this is what we've always been advocating for and pushing for this day. To have someone who's very qualified, very capable to be in this position, but especially to serve all community, but especially coming from our community, something that we've been advocating and fighting for since 1990s. And so clearly that's Misty her. And I have the pleasure to work with her over 10 years, especially I got to know her really well during the Hmong 40 story that is leading by Law Yang. And I saw her passion, her motivation, her driven, her capability, and just her love for the student and for education. And so yes, I'm here as a parent tonight, say that I want to see Misty her up there, because I know she's very capable. Thank you.
Good evening, Sally. My name is Dao. I am a community organizer. I'm also a former student for Fresno Unified School District. So I'd like to start off with my graduation. I graduated 2010. That's a decade ago, over a decade. And I want to talk about my experience. So during my senior year in high school, I remember going through the U.S. history book, and there's only half a page that talked about the Secret War. And it was a secret war because it's called Secret War. And it was not, U.S. was never supposed to be in Southeast Asia. So with that, to lead to my next conversation, I think for me, going through my college time, I have an identity crisis because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where my family come from. I didn't know very much. And then the internet at the time only gave you so much. So that's something that I believe that the next generation will face if we don't have a qualified leader who understand culture, who understand that this must need to be addressed. So by having some people who's qualified, such as Misty, a lot of people have mentioned her already, it will help she will strengthen and allow this project to come in and teach more about the school work. And then I'd like to talk about the foundation. Misty is already there, so why search for something else? In everybody's household, if there's something that's not broken, we want to fix it. So why choose somebody else? I think she's already there. She's qualified. She's been the champion for us for many years, and we don't need to reset, because if we choose somebody else, especially if they're not local here, we're starting all over again. All the DI program, dual immersion program that has been implemented is maybe at risk. So I believe we don't need to go look far because we already have the champion here. Thank you.
Good evening, Sally. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to the Fresno Center and PAL for allowing us some space to kind of share our concerns. Well, not really concerns, but just our voice for the next superintendent. So my name is Cami Tapavong, and I am a counselor coordinator for a Southeast Asian program at Fresno City College. So I get a lot of the graduates from Fresno Unified, And I'm also the product of Fresno Unified. Came to this country at age of 4, pretty much went through elementary, middle school, and high school here. And I'm also an advocate for the Lao community. I am part of the Laotian community of Fresno. And some of the things that I've heard from my community that they wanted me to share, as well as my own take on the new superintendent as far as their personal attributes and their experience. I want to echo that I really think that we do need a local, someone local, right? We're such a unique community, very diverse in so many ways, and the only way that a person could step into this big role is that they have to have lived here and really lived the experience and getting to know the community well. So someone local, and I really think someone who has been in the classroom. Oftentimes you might get folks who are in admin and they just kind of go from admin to admin. But to really, work with parents and students at that level, you have to have someone that actually was a teacher and kind of moved up, being a principal and VP and what have you. And another thing is, also being cultural sensitive, not only that, but knowledgeable. Anybody could take workshops on being cultural sensitive, but actually being knowledgeable. Again, it goes back to someone that lives here, that knows our area. And being inclusive, one thing about Dr. Nielsen, he was very inclusive. He understood the diversity within Asian Americans, specifically Southeast Asians, with the Lao, Hmong, Cambodian. And, the Lao community is much smaller. It's about 10 to 12,000 residents here. So, a lot of families and parents, often share that sometimes they feel that they're overlooked as far as services and outreach too, because again, we're a smaller community, but the needs are still very huge, very comparable to other, Southeast Asian communities. And, so we need someone that understands that knows that there is different groups within Southeast Asian groups, right? And in addition to that, someone who's gonna be visible and willing to be engaged in our diverse communities. Again, I go back to Dr. Nielsen because he's everywhere, right? He goes to all the cultural events, a lot of conferences, and he gets to know people in their spaces. So, a lot of our parents, grandparents, they drop off their kids, they pick them up, and that's really just the limit of the contact they have with schools. So this new superintendent has to be willing and comfortable enough to go into the temples, go to their events, I know he goes to the Hmong New Year, right? Go to the Lao New Year, Cambodian New Year, and really just get to know our community, because often our parents are not comfortable enough to go into the classroom or go to the school sites. And, let me see what else here. And being intentional, basically, really be intentional in that. And lastly, the Laotian American Community of Fresno has worked with Dr. Nielsen for probably about 6-7 years, collaborating with different events. And so Misty Her is pretty much his right-hand woman, and she knows our community well as well. So I'm gonna echo again, Misty Her is a really good candidate, and I hope, she does get this position, because she already is in-house, she knows, everyone, and she's worked with a lot of us. So that's it, thank you so much.
I'm advocating for my Cambodian community. I have been a long advocate for the Cambodian community, and I also have 2 kids in Fresno Unified Edison High School. So for tonight, I'm not going to say much, but for ideal leader in the Fresno Unified, I think that person or that individual must have must know or grew up in Fresno. That's what I believe, to be a leader for the Fresno Unified. That's one thing. The other thing is that individual should be community, know the well-being of this community. The well-being of this community is very important. The person should have an idea of collaborating with the community organization. And I think if the district has good relationship, building the relationship with the organization around here, that would be a very, very good quality that we're looking for. And also the person should have an idea of embracing the diversity in this community. So that's very important part of the culture in this community by embracing and valuing the different culture that we have here in Fresno, especially the Southeast Asian. Like Bob, Dr. Nelson, he often appear at the different community events. It doesn't matter where the event, we tend to see him a lot. So that's the kind of quality we're looking for too. And family engagement is another one that we really like to see next leader to be in that area. Value the family, the parents, because parents are the ones that have kids to go to the district. So parents must be educated, must be participate, must be engaged in their child's education, because when we see parents or educator or involved in their children's education, the kids tend to do better in school. Last but not least, the superintendent, the next leader, I think that should have is valuing the early education. The early, like the preschool or before, even before preschool. And that's where I think we really need to focus. So those are the points that I'd like to see our next leader. Thank you so much. I don't have the name in person, but I think I heard Misty. I used to work with her in Stone Soup long time ago. She really know the community, but I think Misty is the right person.
Hi everyone, my name is Shane. I'm a product of the Fresno Unified. I went to Heaton Elementary and then Computech Middle School, and I graduated from Edison High School, so go Tigers! But I'm standing here because I wanted to echo what the other community member was sharing, saying that if you want change, you gotta advocate for it now. And as you guys can all see, I'm expecting. I also have a little one that's 1 year old, and just thinking about my kid's future, because me and my husband is already thinking about what school is our kid gonna go to. And right now, the only school that offers dual language in Hmong is Vang Elementary School. Borough used to have it, but that program canceled. So now we're thinking, okay, where are we gonna live now so that our kids can go to school here? And I also, what are we looking for in a superintendent, right? Someone that's gonna continue to advocate, someone that will continue to support more programs like this into our kids' future. Because the last thing I want is as soon as my kid's ready to go to kindergarten, the program is no longer here. Because I didn't have a teacher or principal or anyone that looked like me in the academic field until I got to high school. That's when I finally had a teacher that looked like me. So thinking about my own kids' future and what I want them to have that I didn't have is someone that looks like them. And also dual language classes that my kids can learn and continue to know their culture and their language. Because I have a little nephew that's in 4th grade and he's at the dual language program at Vang Elementary. And out of all the 15 grandkids, he's the only one that can come over to the house and says, Tatay kuto, which is grandma I'm here, or Neja which is grandpa come eat. Out of all the 15 grandkids, he's the only one that can speak to my parents because he's in that language program. And that's what I want for my kids' future. So I want someone that's gonna support that for my kids' future, that's gonna care about my kids.
It's here, and style of our culture is a lot of the students, they usually don't raise their hand, they respect the elders, so they want to speak, but they may not. So be mindful of our students that are here. We want to hear our students as well, right, Sally? So.
Okay. I was going to say that. But I'll take it away from me. Sally, thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Sing Yang. Now, you may not know, but we don't want to go back to 30 years ago. Okay, 30 years ago was a mess in Fresno. Fresno Unified was a mess. We went to through I think quite a few superintendents. Found some that are here only for resume purposes. Found some that are here for the salary purposes, and no one really cared. Dr. Nelson is different. Now, I grew up with Misty Hurd. Man, I know her. And I know why Bob Nelson put Misty where she's at. You wanted to keep promoting education across the globe. Fresno Unified back then, not only the school districts, but the city itself was on the map for bad reasons, not so much good reasons. Now you from a professional leadership associate, right? Am I correct? So I'm sure all of you looking for someone who's well qualified. I don't know, maybe a couple doctor's degree, but that's not what we're looking for here in Fresno. We're looking for someone who understands Fresno. Why did I say it about 30 years ago? We don't want to repeat that again. We're all kids here. Now, when we talk about the Asians, we have Chinese, Japanese, we have the Cambodian, the Hmong, the Khmer, up in the Laotians. We have several different Asians in Fresno. Bring somebody from the outside and let them say, yeah, we have an Asian here in the in downtown, or we have an Asian person, or an admin person, a principal at this school, but they don't speak the language here. It could be a different type of Asian. Now we want someone who can speak and understand the different Asians here in Fresno. Keep promoting our youth, our culture. So that way our kids don't get lost and repeat what we had 30 years ago, what were the largest gangs in Fresno. Now, that has changed when we started promoting Asians, especially Southeast Asians here in Fresno, to different levels in the school district, in the cities, including politicians. And that sets a big steps, open doors, open eyes to a lot of students, a lot of suffering parents and students here in Fresno. So I hope you can take it back to your group and also share with this school board that we do not want that happen again, repeat, and we do not want people or the kids here to feel that they're being left out. The straight A's didn't get to select as a valedictorian, or the one that qualifies, well qualified, didn't get selected because someone else was come into place with a better resume or a better experiences. We do want to make sure that whoever we select as a superintendent understand that out of 70,000 kids here, very diverse, but can they handle the different cultures here? Can they understand? Can they provide and promote the different culture here? And not just because, hey, I can make it 4 years and then leave, or 10 years and then leave. We'd like to have someone who permanently understands and stays here. Thank you.
And simply, it's what do you like about school? You ready?
Dual immersion program.
Oh, so you hear that? He actually really likes the dual immersion program, so that works for him. That means he wants to go to school, he enjoys it, he loves it, and that creates a far more welcoming environment at school. Obviously.
Lunch.
Okay, she likes lunch. Now, let's ask her what her favorite food is, okay? Because a lot of times, I grew up in this Fresno school too, and most of the time I had hamburgers and fries, but at home I would have home food, which was home. So let me know what your top 2 foods is.
The pizza.
Yeah, you like pizza?
The chicken nuggets with rice.
Okay, she likes this American food stuff, that's nice. What's your favorite subject in school?
Social studies.
What do you like about social studies?
I get to learn about my culture.
And what's your culture? She likes learning about her own culture. That's great. How about you, sweetie?
My favorite subject is maybe math.
Mathematics, okay. Why do you like math so much?
I feel like I understand it more than many other subjects.
Okay, so math is a universal language. There you go. I saw another sweetheart over here. Let's see. Yes, coming to you. Don't be scared. Okay, we're gonna give you a who's your favorite teacher and why?
Maybe my fourth grade teacher right now because she's very nice and she gives us free time off. We're really good for the whole week.
Okay. Okay, what do you like about school? Is it your teacher? Is it gym? Anything you come up with anything?
Teacher.
Okay, who's your favorite teacher and why? Take your time, there's no rush.
Teacher. My math teacher.
Okay, so you like your math teacher? She makes learning fun? You like, and it makes sense, right? Okay, great. Now, did I miss any other?
High schoolers.
Ooh, high schoolers, yeah. Okay, what's your favorite thing about school?
I got a say club, after school clubs. I was one of the officers for Hmong Club at Edison High School and I enjoyed it.
What did you enjoy about it?
Honestly, just making memories with like my Hmong students or people who want to have fun. Yeah.
Okay, having fun together. What's your favorite thing about school?
I feel like my favorite thing in school was getting to interact with like different diversity of students. And at Edison, I was able to do that with joining clubs. I was also activities director at Edison Mall Club, and we were able to create fun activities and have other students of other ethnicity, such as like Mexican, Cambodian, and other Asians join in to our club.
Wonderful. How about you, sir? What's your favorite thing about school?
It will be class.
Which class?
Home class.
Home class, what do you do in there?
Basically studying like our language and our history.
Okay, very nice. What do you look for in a superintendent? Now, when they tell you their favorite thing about school, that means more of it, right? So you heard these students talk about how those are culturally specific activities, right? So let's create that space, and it's not just Hmong specific. It's interdiversity, multicultural, right? But let's what would you want in a superintendent?
Programs who's able to help students. My brother, Jerry, he's here with me, and he has a hard time learning, and we don't have enough teachers or like teachers who are able to stand up and help students who have a hard time learning. And as for my younger sister, she's a trouble student, and it takes a lot of teachers to come together and help a student. Be patient with them. Honestly, I just want what I look in a superintendent is someone who's helpful and advocate and help students and make programs for them to be better for themselves and for their future.
She has a whole essay that she wrote.
I want to nominate Missy Her because she advocated for the Hmong language programs. Because of the programs here in FUSD, I've learned to read, speak, and write in Hmong. I can communicate with my grandparents, and because I can finally speak my native tongue, I have learned so much about myself as a Hmong American. Cú hay tao ó họ lu mong theo anh kỹ cú yo lo ba tao cú lu dây cho tao yo tao de I Missy Her. Because I am a bilingual, I will be able to support my community in the future like Missy Her.
Let's give her a round of applause.
I was kind of waiting my turn. Hi, my name is Yuna Bang. I am a senior at Edison High School. I know we have a lot of Edison High alum here, but I'm a senior this year, and although my time is short as a high schooler, I just want to say it would be extremely satisfying to have Misty as the new Fresno Unified Superintendent. As Fresno has one of the biggest population of Hmong people, to have a Hmong person, a Hmong woman, not only lead but represent the Hmong community and other communities here. I feel as though many Hmong students and parents of you have heard, and elders and even janitors, because mind you, like Fresno Unified has Hmong janitors make up the largest portion of Fresno Unified's janitors, and that includes my grandpa. My grandpa was a janitor for Fresno Unified, and he was so deeply loved by the schools and community, and to see that they don't even get the best treatment, or they don't feel as seen, they're kind of in the shadows, but I truly believe that they'll finally be seen and heard. I also feel as though other cultures, like I mentioned, will also feel represented. I know we have a lot of the Lao and Cambodian community here. I've met Misty before many times, and within those times that I've met her, I can genuinely see that she cares about the students here. She always pushes to exceed and keep the richness in not only the Hmong culture, but other cultures alive. And there was an incident in Clovis Unified, and they had almost got rid of their Hmong classes. So it's really disheartening to even think or that it could possibly happen to Fresno Unified if we happen to have a superintendent who won't push for diversity and the richness in languages that isn't just French or German. Someone said earlier, it takes a leader to not only look good on paper, but someone who has lived through experiences or to know how it feels to be disrepresented. And again, though my time here as a senior is really short, I'm speaking here today to represent my siblings, my peers, and the future students to fight for quality education. And I know we have a few students here, and I just want to say, if I can do it, you can do it, you know? Don't be afraid, and I promise you our voice matters. And you know, a lot of parents have spoke today, and it's because they never had this education. We're fighting for the education that they never had as children, to have the Hmong class in class so children can learn, my siblings, for them to learn. And someone said earlier as well, when you keep trying to search for better, you miss out on what was already the best. So choosing Misty, I feel, would be the best option.
Jamie. I am a mother of 6, and I'm also a therapist, and I work in the mental health field. You know, in the mental health field, we actually contracted with Fresno Unified students to provide mental health services, and I have seen over the 10 years experience of my in mental health field is that a lot of our students, and I wish that, you know, our dual enrollment program is in every Fresno Unified school district and elementary, because that was such an important courses for our students to take. And the reason I'm saying that is because I have many lived experience where I see patients that are Hmong students that they don't even know who they are. You know, they don't, you know, someone who says, I want to be American, but I can't be American because I'm Hmong. But I can't even identify with the Hmong because I don't even speak the language. I don't even know where I come from. I don't know the country. I don't even have a flag. I don't even have a place that says, this is where I came from. You know, and we get students that even my own son that goes to school says, you know, where do you come from? Or I'm Hmong. Well, where's Hmong on the map, right? And so a lot of our students who are experiencing mental health issues, mental health crises in school, that, you know, are suffering from anxiety, depression, suffering from, symptoms of like bipolar disorders that are in high school, that, they don't even have a voice because, they didn't have the dual enrollment programs when they were younger. And not a lot of the only one that is offers that, they power. And so I would want a superintendent who will incorporate inclusive of all Fresno Unified and across Senior Unified, across Lotus Unified, to have dual enrollment programs. And who is, we want a leader who is humble, who understands our culture, who is local, who understands the diversity of this community. Thank you.
Now from a teacher. So I've been teaching for quite some time, and let's be honest, when we started this teaching journey, throughout my time, I've always heard the saying, those that can, those that can't teach, right? I'm pretty sure some of you guys have heard of that. And so I wasn't sure if I was gonna be teaching long. I felt like maybe it was just a way for me to get my foot in the door and then, I don't know, save enough money and do something else. And, a lot of times I was just like other students. I came to work, kept my head down, did what I was supposed to do, follow the standards, etc. And, that's pretty much how we did things. I did things as a new teacher. And then things began to change when I started realizing that there were district leaders who were extremely supportive. And they opened my eyes to see why teachers teach. And not anybody can teach, not everybody can teach. And the truth is, because you can't just teach from your degree, you have to teach from your heart. Now, we've had all these students speak before, and I want to let you know, you said earlier that the kids are the reason why we're here, right? But I'm going to tell you, it's based on the caring and genuine love and support we have from our district leaders that keep us here to stay. So I want you guys to remember that if we choose a superintendent to lead the school district, we want somebody that is caring. So a little bit about Misty. 8 years ago, there was a huge tragedy, and I had a student that passed away from an accident. And I was heartbroken because it was the first time I've ever experienced that. I was going through a lot of emotions, so were my students, and guess who was standing right next to me, helping me endure this tragedy? It was Misty Hurd. Last year, we had a group of students that came into this very room to be recipients of scholarships. And there was one, at the conclusion of the event, the students, the scholarship recipients, were asked to bring their parents to the stage so they can take a picture together. And so, of course, one by one, the students came to the stage with either their mother or their father. And of course, there was one particular student who did not have her mother with her because she lost her mother not too long ago. And being the caring person that she is, Missy was willing to step up and stand beside her and serve as her mother. Those are the qualities that you cannot get from any kind of trainings or seminars. Those are the type of genuine care that you just have to be born with. And since we already witnessed one of our own, Missy Hurd, who genuinely cares for the entire district, then that's who we need to fight for. I want to let you guys know that there's this thing about Hmong people. They like to do things for their family, all right? They like to do things for their family. And that's actually a good thing for Misty because she treats the entire district as her family. And she is going to go the extra mile in order to serve the district to her fullest potential. So I want you guys to understand, just remember this. We teachers are here for the students. but it takes caring leaders to make us stay. And so let's get, why look for another superintendent when we already have one? Missy Hurt, right? Thank you.
Fresno Unified, I teach Hmong dual language immersion. I teach at Balderas, so it's not just Baytown. We have 2 schools now that teach Hmong dual language immersion. And if you want to enroll your kids, please see me after. We are currently accepting students. So I am a parent, and this is my daughter. She was in the first cohort of the Hmong dual language immersion program. All my kids are in the dual language immersion program. And I always tell everyone, my kids are the favorite grandchildren because they are the only ones that can speak Hmong. And they're the only ones that can communicate with their grandparents. They appreciate the culture. I have my son, my dad's a shaman. My son follows my dad to those shaman rituals because he wants to be a part of the culture. And he would never have been doing that if he had not learned the language. I also want to say that from the teacher's perspective, we remember when we were little and the Hmong students are the quietest students, right? The quietest students. They're really good students. The ones that the teachers really, really favor because they are so good. But they are only like that because the teacher in that classroom do not look like them. And so they are taught at a very young age, do not talk unless you're spoken to, do not interrupt the teacher, do your work, do what you're told. But because our students are coming and we look like them, they are not the quiet little students. They talk with their friends, they learn with their friends, they want to participate, they raise their hands, they are not that typical little Asian student, that stereotypical Asian student that you see or that you know like 30 years ago. Right now our students they're not shy anymore because they're in a classroom with a Hmong teacher, someone who looks like them. And it's because, that's why I want to nominate Misty. It's because of her effort, all of her motivation, everything that she has done to advocate for our Hmong language programs, that we now have our 2 dual language immersion schools, Baytown and Balderas. And so I don't want someone who is not local, who does not know the culture to come in and, discontinue the program just because they don't understand why it is so important to have classrooms with multiple languages or to have our students be able to be bilingual by the time they graduate or for their life. So I want to echo everyone that has been speaking up tonight. Misty Hurt would be the perfect superintendent.
Share our thoughts with you and let our voices be heard in the selection of our next superintendent. Tonight I'm here as a parent. I have 2 high school seniors in the Design Science Middle College school, and they are graduating. And one of the most amazing things that they're going to have happen this year is that their auntie is going to be giving them their diplomas. And that connection, to be able to have your family or somebody who treats you like family give that to you, no one else can do. I'm honored, and it's going to be a wonderful gift of being able to connect, and that's going to mean so much more to my children as they move forward in their education. I am a product of Fresno Unified back in the 90s as well, so go Tigers. I had awesome teachers, and I was lucky enough to be in school during a time where the teachers really supported us academically, those of us who could move on, and push us to excel. I'm now, well graduated, and I actually work in the community as a dentist, and I think a lot of that is due to influences from my teachers, my counselors, my peer from that time, because of the culture that was created of the desire to learn and be successful. And I grew up with Misty for the last 40 years. I've seen her personally, seen her grow professionally in all the stages of her career. And I will say, undoubtedly, she's probably one of the most humble people, the most caring, kind, and compassionate people I've ever met. We grew up, our dads were both custodians at the local high schools for 30 plus years. We both grew up working in the fields, so understanding the migrant life and connecting with migrant farm workers. I think we had quite a bit of experience just growing up in the underserved communities. So I know that she has a passion and love to teach kids and provide them that opportunity to grow and get to their potential and inspire kids through her own story and her life journey, and to be able to share that, inspire, and also being able to connect with the parents. I'm fortunate that I can read English, but I love getting the parent newsletters that come in Hmong and in Spanish for all the other parents who can't, so they can actually partake in their kids' education. Unlike my parents during a time where it was only in English, they didn't know what to do. And now with the growth of diversity and inclusion in our district, because of leaders like Misty and Dr. Nelson, that we as parents are all included in what happens to our kids and how they learn. And I heard the mental health support that they have as well. I think that's just huge strides from even a generation ago when I went to high school. So in my personal, professional experience, I think that Misty would be the best person for this job because she has the experience, the passion, the love to be successful and to get all of our kids to their best potential. Thank you for the time.
Before we continue, Sally, are there more questions? Or did they kind of answer those questions?
I think most of the questions were answered. What you most value, what a strength is in the district, I would say you are advocating for dual immersion Hmong language programs. That comes through the opportunities. The students spoke about clubs, the extracurricular activities that are available and the value that they have, as well as some of the challenges that may be before the next leader. And those challenges you're sharing are getting to know and really truly understanding the cultures and the people that are here that comprise all of Fresno Unified. And I think you've hit on all those points as well.
Can I see how many hands of folks that still want to express? Okay. All right. So we'll finish with you folks, and then we'll go on to the next question that you have. And we'll be here till 8 o'clock. Is that okay with everybody? Yes. 8 o'clock? I got a family I have to go home and cook for too, guys. So, but with all joking aside, I just want to thank everybody for really speaking out how you feel. And that's what's so important in our community. Usually our Southeast Asian community, Sally, is very humble, and we usually don't speak up. We usually don't share how we feel. We usually don't express who's the most qualified person, because we live here in the Valley. We've been here for 40 years, and we want somebody that not only, you'll hear them talk about the Hmong, the Lao, the Khmer, but really they're talking about the students, and we are the student. I'm a product of Fresno Unified School District as well, and I've worked with Misty. Misty's not related to me, but I've worked with her on not just in education, but if you guys remember the mass shooting back in 2019 with 4 of our family members, community members that passed away. They were killed or gunned down by gang members, and this has nothing to do with Fresno Unified, but Misty as a leader within Fresno Unified rally a lot of the teachers and administrators and students to help and to provide assistance, especially mental health assistance, and to partner with organizations like ours and the universities, and we did a community healing session, and to have a leader that cares. And you guys share about the caring, the passion, the heart, the understanding, the growing up here. But I just want to say a few things. Besides that, all of what you said is half the battle, right? But to get that perfect superintendent is somebody that also knows our kids and family, someone who knows the instruction and the operation of the school district. That is also important. That's why we keep pushing for Misty, because she knows the operation. Someone who can take and plan and implement the metrics and goals. They need to understand the numbers. They need to be able to read and see that our students are behind in certain areas, and to come up with a plan to move our students forward. And she understands that, because she was a student. She became a teacher. She became a vice principal, a principal, and then an administrator. And then now the second highest ranking leader at Fresno Unified School District with over 70,000 students. And on top of that, she also makes, to speak specifically to the Hmong community, she makes the Hmong community across the U.S. proud, because she is the highest ranking Hmong person in K through 12 across the country. And she didn't do that just for the Hmong community. She did that to show that she can do it for everybody, and everybody has that opportunity. And if we talk about the Hmong community, if we talk about the Southeast Asian community, our culture has always been very patriarchal. And for a woman in our community to be able to grow like Misty into a leadership role, I can't even comprehend how she did it. And many of us have barely touched the surface of who Misty is. And I want you to take that back to the trustee, so they know that they have somebody in front of them that has been working in Fresno Unified for over 25 years. They have somebody that's in front of them that has been leading Fresno Unified. They have somebody who is a product of Fresno Unified, who's willing to come back and stay here and take this school district to the next level. She's focused and she has the ability to move students in achievement. We hear it in the news all the time regarding Fresno Unified. The good, the bad, and the ugly. On top of that, and finally, I think Misty, she has the skill set, she has the patience, and I think her skin is thick enough to deal with the politics that comes with this role. I think she can deal with a lot of the politicians, she can deal with a lot of the unions, and she can deal with CBOs like us, who also speak for our constituent and our community. And that's why we hear a lot of our folks vouching for Misty. Is there a lot of contenders out there? Absolutely. But she's the most qualified because of our live experience with Misty. And I think that's what the community is trying to convey tonight. And I just wanted to share that, so those of you that were going to say what I said it for you already. Because we have 21 minutes left. So raise your hand.
I echo everything that Pao said. My name is Papua. And Sally, I want to thank you for coming into the community where this is a safe space for a lot of Southeast Asians. So a lot of times what I see is different organizations, government entities will say, come to us, come speak at where we're at, city council, come speak at council chambers, and here you are tonight with us. So thank you for coming into the community to listen to our voices. And I'm not going to take up too much time because I think there were so many beautiful shared experiences and things for you to write down and take back and really digest. But what I'll say is we're looking for a leader that is going to understand different experiences. It doesn't necessarily need to be a racial thing, an ethnic thing, but different lived experiences. When I was growing up, I tutored at Jane Addams Elementary to homeless elementary students. And so here in Fresno Unified, you have a big, wide range of socioeconomic backgrounds, including ethnic makeup. The individual who is going to lead this district, where my children are attending, so this is meaningful to me in so many ways. I want to see somebody who is humble, somebody who is kind, somebody who is compassionate, somebody who's going to understand that the experiences of the school children range in terms of home background. Some are going to be raised by single-parent households. Some are going to be raised by same-sex parents. And that individual is going to have to love all of our children and be able to advocate for all of our children. And it's not just based on one ethnic identified group. It is all of our children. So I echo everything that everybody has said, and I will say this. Fresno has the opportunity at this time to make history with this appointment. And I don't want to come out because of my particular position and state an endorsement, but I will say that Fresno has an opportunity to make history. So I encourage you and everybody in a capacity to be able to make this happen, really think and choose somebody who, as the community echoed, shares the love of this community and comes from this community. Thank you.
We have a lot more ideas in the room. What we're going to do is respect those who process information and things differently, right? So what we're going to do is actually pass out pieces of paper on every table, so everyone has a little moment to write down what is super imperative to them in a superintendent. And then we're going to choose like a spokesperson at the table to basically read a full great list of what matters to you, right? So we're going to give you about 5 or 7 minutes for this activity. And then I'll let you know we have a minute to pretty much wrap up. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The ground up and is able to advocate for diversity of cultures, not limited to just Southeastern Asian cultures. I believe someone who is able to promote and embrace cultural diversity while celebrating cultural and cross-cultural understanding. Someone who can also understand the different generational gaps and work to bridge intersectional, cultural, and intergenerational gaps.
thay cho của Hữu thế thay.
All those of you who stayed all through this and provided all this information. It's a wealth of information. Not only to the associates team that will be preparing the report to the board, but certainly to the board. I don't know if I mentioned our target date is the March 6th board meeting. And so this is in short order, and they have not at this point determined to go out for research. They're doing these listening tours to see what their next step should be. So your information this evening was very, very valuable. And I thank you all for the thought that you gave it prior to coming, the reflection on all the different value that Misty has held for you, not only as a community, but many of you individually. So I thank you very much for your willingness to share that directly, even though that may not be your most comfortable mode. You did it perfectly, and I thank you very much for that. And also to the center for allowing this to be held here. I do appreciate this opportunity to be here, and you've all been so gracious. I've enjoyed it very, very much, and I wish you all well.
Radio, YouTube, and all that. Can we send that video to you so that you can share that when you meet with the board of directors?
I don't know how long it might be, but we could certainly let them know that it is a resource that they may want to avail themselves of.
Give that link
Yes,
to see it.
yes.
Because
Absolutely.
you know, what we want is we don't, in case you forget some of what we said, because we didn't write everything down, but we recorded it, so you can share that, because we really want these trustees to know it's not just how we feel, but what we've experienced, right, with Misty, and what has been created or generated since she's been at Fresno Unified. Even though it's taken over 25 plus years to be where we're at, one of the police officers that's, I don't know if he's here, but mentioned about not going backwards. And when you have a leader like that already, that is already a leader who's ready to move up to that top spot, what are we doing? Are we trying to discourage that leader to lead?
Well, I'd like to say that also some of you made very strong points that while you do have her identity within your culture, you also have emphasized that she transcends all cultures. And I think that's a very compelling statement to make, that she has just that sense because she has the personal experience, but she translates that to all children and all parts of this community, and I think that's very important for the board to hear.